So how about it, folks? One more capsule here for you, and it is the 3-year reunion. Yes, it's another 2-3 matchup between the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings. I was wrong 2 years in a row. Again, I love to be wrong. The Edmonton Oilers, 49, 27, and 6, 104 points, plus 57. For the LA Kings, they are the third Pacific seed. They'll be starting on the road, 44, 27, 11, 99 points, and a plus 41. It came down to the final game of the season whether or not the LA Kings would be playing the Oilers or playing the Dallas Stars. The Golden Knights lost that game to Anaheim, and the LA Kings found a way to bounce back against Chicago as Kempe scored the overtime winner. So now they'll play the Edmonton Oilers. It came down to the final side. That's why we took a little bit extra to clean up those notes. So two new head coaches, Kris Knoblauch and Jim Hiller, because you went and fired Jay Woodcroft and Todd McClellan because of some of those downtrodden stretches. So here we go again, the Edmonton Oilers versus quick start to the year for the LA Kings. Maybe a little bit of a fade, but man, oh man, they were dominant to start the year. Line one, you know what that is. Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl versus a dominant top line of Anze, Kopitar. You can mix in Kempe, Fiala, and then Quinton, Byfield, and a solid back end of no names that people should really know by now, because for LA, that is where they can do some damage. They know each other well. Again, they're meeting for a third straight year. Edmonton took both of the series last year, and for the LA Kings, you got to feel like it's time. But it always comes down to this. For Edmonton and Ken Holland, the GM, we'll start here again with Connor McDavid. Why not? He was injured to start the year. The Edmonton Oilers were 2-9-1 without Connor McDavid to start the year. 75 games played, 32 goals, 100 assists, 132 points, and plus 35. Draisaitl played 81 games, 41, 65, 106, plus 82. Zach Hyman played in 80 games, the U of M man. He had 54 goals, 23 assists, and 77 points for a plus 36. And RNH, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, we throw him in there as well. 79 games played. Again, I'll go ahead and fix this on the side of my notes. 18 goals, 49 assists, 67 points, and a plus 10 for the Nuge. Adrian Kempe, fresh off his game winner, 77 games played, 28 goals, 47 assists, 75 points, plus 13. Kevin Fiala, all 82. 29, 44, and 73. Anze Kopitar, the ageless captain for the Kings. 81 games played, 26 goals, 44 assists, 70 points, plus 11. Trevor Moore, all 82 for him as well. LA Kings were healthy, and they'd done a lot of damage. 31, 26, 57 for Trevor Moore, plus 11. And Quinton Byfield, the second-year breakout. 80 games played, 20 goals, 35 assists, 55 points, plus 19. He's been asked to do more. He can definitely do more, and he's a mainstay on that top line going forward for me. Quinton Byfield's an excellent player who can do it all. Premium defense, Paul Coffey and Evan Bouchard, everybody worked together there. And look at the breakout year for Bouchard. He's turning into a star, not just because he's playing on the Oilers. 81 games played, 18 goals, 64 assists, 82 points, and a plus 34 for Bouchard. Mattias Ekholm, excellent shutdown pair. Again, if you want to mix one and two, you can. 79 games played. That was the one good trade for Ken Holland, but 11 goals, 34 assists, 45 points, plus 44 for Ekholm. Drew Doughty, he's always been the mainstay, all 82 for him. 15, 35, 50, plus 15. Matt Roy, 25 points, plus 21. And Mikey Anderson, the names that you should know, Matt Roy and Mikey Anderson. Anderson, 18 points, plus 22. So did you even worry? The Edmonton Oilers, again, 2-9-1 to start the year, and they lost to the San Jose Sharks. It looked like everything was crumbling around them. But again, that's because they were without McDavid to start the year. That's the guy that stirs the drink, and you all know that. Los Angeles can be elite. They're middle of the road in goals with 254, which is about 13-14, but third in goals against with 210, only behind the Florida Panthers and the Winnipeg Jets. So they went from 199, the Kings next at 210. On the power play, they're 22.6, which is 12th. 84.6, which is the second best penalty kill in the league. That is going to be very important because they're going up against the Edmonton power play. Their power play is fourth at 26.3, and while they're not breaking records in the NHL this year, it's still a big proponent for them. Their penalty kill, about middle of the pack. Out of 32 teams, they're 15th, which is 79.5. So that Edmonton penalty kill, one more time, is going to be very important against that Edmonton power play. A couple of years ago, they were striking at the all-world rate, the highest that the NHL's ever seen. Now it's fourth at 26.3, so just a smidge lower. So I guess that's a small sample of good news for the LA Kings. But I honestly don't know if that second best penalty kill that LA does have lands to stand the whole test of time. It really doesn't work that way. Goaltending, flip a coin here. And this is why I'm going to say this, but let's get to the numbers first. Stuart Skinner, 59 games played. He had to die on the sword a little bit last night in their final game. 59 games played against the Avalanche. 36, 16, and 5. 2.62 goals against, 905 save percentage, couple shutouts. Calvin Pickard was the backup. He had to spell a little bit for the rest of everything that was going on in Jack Campbell, who never found his way back up after playing 6 games. 12, 7, and 1 for Calvin Pickard, 245 goals against, 909 save percentage, and a shutout. Cam Talbot's on the other side for the Kings. He's the head man in net. 53 games played, 27, 20, and 6, 250 goals against, 913 save percentage, and 3 shutouts. And David Riddick, 24 games played, 13, 6, and 3, 215 goals against, 921 save percentage, and 3 shutouts for Riddick. So, who wins this series, and give reasons for both? You can take a few stretches here and say Edmonton's going to win the series because they have the supreme top-end talent. You can talk about that over the last few years for Hyman, McDavid, and Draisaitl. Yes, that's fine. You can talk about Evan Bouchard as well as far as driving the bus on the defensive end and getting a ton of plus-minus and getting a ton of points. He's had a great year. That would make a lot of sense. You can also talk about maybe saying that Cam Talbot is a little bit shaky, and if they can get to Cam Talbot and David Riddick a little bit, they can win this series, especially with that power play prowess. But also, for the LA Kings, again, it's not been a series that's been a complete slobber knocker, losing in 6 and 7 in the last 2 years, respectively, for the LA Kings. But it's been too much of that power play for the Edmonton Oilers that's undone them. But for Stuart Skinner, he's fine. Again, he had to wear the shellac a little bit in the last game against Colorado, but the 2.62, Calvin Pickard, a little bit untested here as far as playoff time. If they can get to Stuart Skinner, maybe they can get to Calvin Pickard. It seems like that could be a sure thing. You could flip a coin either way in goaltending here this series. I'm not sold on Skinner or Pickard or Talbot or Riddick to be able to get the job done in this series. How do you feel, though? Let me know. You can leave your thoughts in the comment box of John Raynaud when everything else gets posted, but I'm really unsure either way of the goaltending side. It really comes down to me, for line 1. We talk about depth, but this time I'll talk about line 1. When you got Connor, McDavid, Zach Hyman, and Leon Draisaitl, on the other end, you're going to have guys like Kevin Fiala, Anze, Kopitar, Quinton, Byfield, closing them out. It's really going to be important, honestly. We talk about depth, and I think that the LA Kings have that more a little bit than the Edmonton Oilers do, and for good reason, across, because Ken Holland can't address that, although he addressed Mattias Ekholm on the back end last year. But I think when it comes down to it, both line ones are going to battle against each other, and whoever wins that battle is going to win this series. I know it's not the most enlightening take, but it really comes down to McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman versus guys like Fiala, Kopitar, and Quinton Byfield. And whoever gets that best of that matchup to me is going to win this series. Look, I'm going to sit here and be honest with you again. When you're at the roulette table, you got 2 colors. You got red and black. And I bet on black the last couple of years, and I've been burned because the Edmonton Oilers came back. Sorry for the barking dog in the background, but this is the last capsule. The Edmonton Oilers that came back, they found a way. The LA Kings had some effort, but they found a way and come back and win the series the last 2 years. If it's not going to happen now, when's it going to happen for the LA Kings? At some point, when you keep betting on one thing to happen, eventually it's going to go your way. And I know what the Oilers fans are going to say. John, you hate our team, and you don't pick us every year against the LA Kings, and look what happens. Yeah, I say, yeah, look what happens when the second and third round. That's usually when the Edmonton Oilers go bye-bye. I just don't believe in a top-heavy offensive team to be able to get the job done. If this was the Edmonton Oilers team that won 16 in a row and was trying to set franchise records across the board and winning games close and winning games with defense, then yes, I would comfortably pick the Edmonton Oilers, maybe even to get to the Western Conference Finals, maybe sniff a Stanley Cup Finals. But this is not that team. They're going to have to showcase to me over and over again that they can get back to that point, at least in WCF, before I even consider picking them to go win a series. Yes, they can beat the LA Kings, but congratulations. That's who you matched up with in the first round the last couple of years. I'm standing with the Kings faithful. Go Kings, go. I'm going to continue to die on the sword. Find a way. This is 3 years in a row. You've seen these guys. You know what everybody's going to do. You know what the tendencies are. The interesting part to me, again, even with the goaltending in that top line, Kris Knoblauch versus Jim Hiller between the Oilers and the Kings. Which coach is ready to match up into this again? And do the players have more of a coaching outlook than these head coaches do because they're new coming in from half the year? So it's going to be very interesting to watch. I do think the Edmonton Oilers push this again. Am I going another series in 7? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm taking the LA Kings, as I will, but this time I'm going to go 6. I think their depth and everything else has shown well. But here's another wild card for me. PLD, where are you at this year? This is time for you to shine against one of the top teams in the entire league. Although I do believe, I'll just say it honestly, I'll take the Kings in 6 and lock it in. It's probably going to be Oilers in 6. Let's just face it, because I've been burned a couple of years before, but I'll still believe and go Kings go. But for PLD, when is it going to happen for him? You got to find a way to wake up and get some point totals, because that's why they traded for you and then signed you with the 7x7. Figure it out, get the job done, and we'll see what the Kings can do. Because I'm looking at it, I'm getting set to close out all these capsules. I forgot to mention this too for the Dallas Stars. If the Colorado Avalanche advance against the Jets, they're going to be playing the Colorado Avalanche. So Dallas could essentially go from Vegas to Colorado, and then whoever wins the series in between Vancouver and Edmonton and LA on that final side of the bracket, and then maybe play the Florida Panthers. That could be the hardest road in the entire world for the Dallas Stars, but I think that they're the best team in the Western Conference. So again, as we closed out, I took Dallas. I'm taking Colorado in 7. I took Dallas in 6. I'm taking the Vancouver Canucks in 7 to be different from Alec, and I'm taking the LA Kings in 6, although I think it's probably going to be Edmonton. Those are my picks. I've locked it up for the East last night. It took the final day for the West. I'm going to be heading out on the road, and I will see you guys back probably Monday if I'm feeling up to it. If not, for Tuesday, I will cover that game 2 in between Colorado and Winnipeg. And then I'll be out for the rest of the week because I'll have the Waterford Sharks at home on the final side. And then I got a birthday with Lauren on Thursday for her to celebrate her birthday when she turns 34. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be very busy through this weekend side. I'll be back streaming on Tuesday, and I'll try to give you updates across the board. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.